Good to see you again. If you are new here, consider subscribing to my channel. Turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever we post new videos. God bless you.
Testing him, saying to him, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for just any reason? It looks like people are just looking for any reason to leave their marriage. Somebody said that marriage is like, the illustration is that marriage is like a system. Those who are in are trying to get out. Those who are out are trying to get in. It's a picture a person painted on that. So it looks like people are always looking for one reason to justify their breaking the covenant, and you'll find that there's only one available in the book apart from death. So Jesus, in answering the question, said, have you not read? That statement is very important. It's at the heart of the heart of the most of the marriage problems today. Have you not read? Have you not read? So if I ask you now, what are you preparing for? There is a particular lady there, she's always coming to talk to me, and most of the talk is about her wedding, and this is about the third or the fourth time. Before couples wed here, we talk with them at least 3 times. While they are going through the school, we have at least 3 times to sit down and talk with them. We're not discussing wedding. I had a gentleman who was bold enough to even to come and ask me for money for her wedding. She is supposed to take money and give us for helping her, preparing her for her marriage. Bible says when ministers sow spiritual things to you, you don't go to them to ask them for money. You sow carnal things. It is too much carnality that reverses that equation. So ignorance is at the heart of many of the plagues you see in the life of believers. Have you not read? So what are you preparing for now? Wedding or marriage? If I look out here now, I see some people who might be around, be in their 30s, early 30s, some in their mid 30s, some probably in their late 30s. I don't know, maybe if there's somebody in the 40s, there will be few. There will be few. And you get married now. The Bible promises at least 80. You're going to live with that person for at least 40 years. If all things are equal. Wedding is just for a couple of hours. One day event. One day event. Couple of hours. You waste all your energy, all your resources just for that 3 hours. The service probably 2 hours. The reception, I don't know how long you want to make your own. Maybe another 2 hours, 3 hours. That's all. It's gone. For most people, it happens like a dream in the night. They realize that it's finished. And then after that, you go back to liabilities. A man who carries all the resources and all the wealth to blow on a party, blow on wine, riotous living, only to realize that there will be hunger tomorrow. There are children's school fees to pay tomorrow. There are house rents to pay tomorrow. What you are preparing for, is that what you're going to live? Is that as if after that day the world will end? Jesus said, have you not read? These are those married that are trying to get out. It can be prevented. What we have found out is this. You meet a lot of couples who think they are incompatible. But it's not true. People rarely marry those they are not compatible with. It rarely happens. It rarely happens. The law of natural selection is against it. The law of spiritual selection is against it. The law of natural selection states that opposite attracts. That thing that pulled you to that person. The truth is that you don't get pulled to what you have in excess. you get pulled to what you need. Some of you now, you cannot explain why you are being attracted to the person you are being attracted to, why you like that person. You might not be able to explain if you're. But the truth is that there are reasons, apart from the fact that, when people are in love, sometimes they can't explain what is going on. There are other people that you bring now. It's not the same thing. You're not attracted to them. You're not moved. You can't just marry any person. Why is it that you are losing your head for this person? There's something pulling you. Opposite attracts. Where you are strong is usually not where your partner is strong. Where you are weak is likely to be where she is strong, maybe the lady. The problem people now have is after they're married, then they now start fighting the other person for not being like them. I have seen a lot of people complaining. I don't like how you are. You are too, you talk, you just talking. Can't you say I keep quiet? No, you don't need another person that keeps quiet. You need one that can talk. That's why God gave you who you are not. If you convert the other person to become you, you will get frustrated with what you have created. There is something a lot of you don't know. Some people are talking about people like Abraham, Isaac. Abraham kept praying for Ishmael to live. Abraham refused to let go of Ishmael. It took God's intervention to now say cast out the bondwoman and her child. Because he is one person that is committed to obeying God, he now did it. We got over to Isaac again. Isaac wanted to carry the blessing and give to Esau. I want you to know what is going on here. When you have kids, you are going to meet it again. When you have that child that is like you are not likely to be very close. You have to have an understanding of parenting, how to give all your kids, build all your kids up, and not discriminate among them, to be able to not discriminate. If not, your natural attraction will be to the one that is your opposite. Do you know why Isaac liked Esau? Jacob reminds him too much about himself. Esau was the radical, the one who could disobey the family, the normal family custom tradition. This is what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't marry for this. You should go and marry. You are not supposed to be there. Isaac grew up rearing cattle, just like his father Abraham. But Ishmael was a wild man. So it was a fascination for Abraham. Isaac grew up rearing cattle, being a husbandman. Guess what? Jacob told his line. He was a man of the house, rearing cattle. Esau becomes a hunter. It's a fascination. You know why he wanted to transfer them? Just bring me venison. Honoring a minister is part of the secret for getting that anointing. But the guy wasn't looking at other things. He wouldn't have transferred that oil to that man. The person for David that he loved too much was Absalom, not Solomon. Do you know that God told David that Solomon was going to be the king? Do you know that David was dying? He didn't ordain Solomon. Do you know that Adonijah declared himself king and was running, and David kept quiet? He took the priest, teaming up with Solomon's mother, to go to him and use the technique. And the first thing is that they are agreed the woman should go in first and be talking to him, that he will not even listen to her. While she's talking, the prophet will walk in. It takes a kind of network, because they knew the program of God. David was not ready to follow it. That's what exactly Isaac was going to do. He wanted by nature or whatever to give it to this one that he liked, because by nature this is the one that was opposite of him. And they are finished. When you have kids, you will discover what I'm telling you. If you actually get your wife in one of your daughters, people will be closer this one. You see this thing that is pulling you towards this, your wife. If one of your daughters carries the same attributes, probably look like her. It's a mystery. You see those who married their like, married themselves, they don't normally enjoy that marriage. That marriage lacks consummation, emotionally speaking. And they produce a daughter like that same woman they are going through frustration. Part of that frustration they have towards a woman will be going to that girl. I know what I'm telling you. Stop fighting your partner. Some of the things you are frustrated about are the very sentence God sent for your help. There's some men, they are like Ahab. And another person can come and collect all their rights. They are not. Normally, guess the kind of woman they get attracted to. Such, they're just there. Is a woman that is decisive, that takes the bull by the horn. Some other guy who is like that lady, who is strong, decisive, and usually you marry a normally submissive wife, yielding and all that. You come to his house, you'll be wondering, can your wife come out and tell you that? That is their security. That is why in meeting each other's needs in marriage, apart from studying the general principles as we have taught, you have to study the person you married. Study the person you married. Find out what he wants. Find out what she's craving for and supply it. You are together in marriage to meet needs. Have you not read? So, going back to that, how many books have you read on the marriage institution? You are going into it. How many? Preparation for wedding can be buying your gown, buying suit, printing cards, doing all that, and you don't have to. If you have the money, no problem. Preparation for marriage is different. It's through acquisition of knowledge. It's through finding couples who are models, who live the kind of life you and your wife, and making them models for yourself. We have mentors in our marriage. When I dedicate my kids, I've dedicated 3 kids, all those days, and anytime I'm doing anything ceremonial, most of the fathers come because I honor them annually and another. I look for integrity. I look for your own personal success in that area. The same thing with our marriage when we're thinking about all that. I don't just call, I have to be sure that you are succeeding, because the one you follow is divorced. He's always beating his wife. It's just a matter of time you're going to end up that way. Because when trial comes and temptation comes, you're going to tell yourself, after all, the devil will use his own whatever and start talking to you. That's why, if, for example, the one who mentors you in marriage gets divorced tomorrow, find a new mentor. Very important. Find those that are successful if you want the future of your own marriage to succeed. You may have mentors in your working place. Apart from the fact that we father people in spiritual destiny and all that, the fact that I'm your pastor doesn't mean that if you're a football, you shouldn't get Christian Chukwu or one of the people to be your mentor. These are former footballers that have succeeded. Or maybe you want to make Okocha or Finidi George or Kaluwanko your mentor because he's traveled the road you are about to get into. That's different. You should also have a marriage. Couples that have gone ahead, not those who are just starting. I'm telling you that people whose marriages have passed through time. In mentorship, you look for 3 things. You look for integrity or character. You look for longevity. That means at least time has tested such people. The young man came to me and said, he's looking for a mentor. So I said, what do you want to do? He said he found somebody. So I said, the person you found, how long has he been in the ministry? He's a minister, a young minister, launching the ministry. He said, how long has he been in the ministry? He said he just started his church last year. I said, you are starting this year? He said, yes. And you want to make him your mentor? I said, yes. He said, 2 of you need mentorship. So I said, my sister is 1 year older than me. No, you need somebody who have been tested by time. So the same thing with marriage, not just merely. Number 3. We say at least 5 years. That's what is the principle there. Not that those who have been there for 10 years cannot see a problem, no, but at least. And I'm not saying look for somebody whose marriage is perfect, because even your relationship with God is marriage. Have you never had You are here since you gave your life to Christ. You have never had any problem with God. Let me see your hand. If you have lifted your hand, I know you need to get born again. Or either you got born again not long, maybe yesterday or today. Even me, God has had problem with me, and I had to apologize. That's the husband, I'm the wife. In our relationship with God, we are the female, he's the male. He has had with me, I've had with him once. The only problem is, he doesn't seem to be wrong anything. No matter how you do it, I'm the one who keeps adjusting. That's alright. Since he's staying with the principles, I'm the one who vacillated. Good. Once I said you are wrong, I said I'm very sure you are wrong. I was growing in those days, we were learning how to exercise faith, and I bound rain. The rain stopped. I was going for a crusade, a program, not really a crusade, and I walked out of the house, and I was glad. Then I started going on my feet, and then it started drizzling, and my suit was getting wet, and I turned and said, you cannot tell me now that I don't have faith. If you like, stay there and let this rain fall. That took 2 weeks to repent of. I'm sure God forgave the first day, but it took me 2 weeks to believe he did. Marriage. Because what you have with God is marriage. So, saying we have never had argument is a joke. If you say, many kids will tell you, I've never seen my parents argue, that they are observing the principles of sanctity in their marriage. When they want to talk to themselves, they go inside, not before the children, and sort out their problems. When they finish, they smile and come out, or keep their face straight and come out. That is right. That means they are living the right example for those kids. So in future, you don't come and start insulting your wife before the kids, or start talking to your husband anyhow before the visitors or before your children, because you're going to destroy those children's future in their home. So it doesn't mean that they never quarrel. It just means that they've also learned how to handle conflicts. One of the courses you are going to deal with, how to deal with conflicts, how to resolve it positively. Amen. Have you not read? So, how many have you read? What do you do with your engagement and courtship? That's when to discuss serious things. That's not time for romance. Burning MTM credits because you have to call how many times? That's not. Unless you are, in the same city and all that. You have times when you meet. What do you need to do? There are more serious things to deal with. Sit down to think, plan, talk, practical things about the life you're going to live together. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. There are 5 purposes for marriage, but that's not what I'm addressing right now. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, and the Lord said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him. One of the purposes of marriage is to meet needs. To meet needs. We have basic emotional needs. All our needs are not spiritual. If they are, God will not take this step to solve, to give Adam a wife, because God was already meeting his spiritual needs. All our needs are not physical, because if they are, Adam's physical needs were already met. He had a garden, a paradise, he had all the things he could eat, he had, everything was been created for him. God didn't say, let me give him a car, let me give him a chair. He wasn't addressing his physical need. It was a relationship need. He looked at him and observed it. It was an emotional need. Why is it like that? By creation, by design, we are made for relationships. We are designed to need love, to need acceptance from other people. That's why isolation is one of the worst torture you can give a human being. Most of what we call prison today are overpopulated with inmates. So the problem they are having there is not even isolation, it's overpopulation. You don't have a place to sleep, or the place is dirty and you're in a mess. But if you really want to torture a person, imprison him in such a way that he will only be with himself, maybe for 2 years, for 7 years. You see, if I isolate a man like that, after a while, something goes wrong. He goes mental. There's something about us that is designed to need love. One of the greatest needs of man is the need to be loved. One of the greatest yearnings of man is the cry to be accepted. You need to see what people can do for acceptance. And these needs are not just in you as adults, they are in the children. They are going to be in your children when you give birth to them. They are in the little kids you see. Some of you now might be facing some challenges in your relationship, which are the result of your emotional bank running dry, being in the red for many years. Many came out from homes where they were not shown love. That is one of the reasons for many of the psychological and social malfunctioning of young men and women that you see. Most of these social problems, armed robbery, prostitution, many of these other things you see in society, is because of this. A young girl should grow up having her father tell her that she's beautiful. It's my duty to shape the self-esteem of my daughters. If you fail to do that, if you tell them the opposite, if in the course of correction you damage their self-esteem, you're going to have broken kids grow up becoming broken adults. They're going to go into society needing, and if any guy shows them any atom of love, oh, you are fine. The first thing is that they don't believe it, and the guy says it again and says it. They can give up everything just to hold to that boy. There are guys like that. They can give away everything just to hold to a girl. They are sick in their soul because their emotional needs are not met. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. Let me talk to the men. If your partner is malfunctioning, your wife, your spouse, the first thing that makes a woman emotionally sick is when she is starved of love. If you find out that she's not being suspicious of everybody, you greet sisters in church, she is suspicious, you greet. Realize that the lady is a lady that is, her love bank is dry. Perfect love. Cast out, the scripture says. When people know that they are loved, they are secure. That's why Pastor Sarah is the way she is. So right now you're in a relationship, you have to really know, what has this person come through? What kind of person are you marrying? Somebody who has been hurt, wounded, and all that. You have to understand that as you get into the area of meeting needs, and you, the husband, have an opportunity. You, the wife, have an opportunity to heal, to fill back that gap. That's the last bus stop people usually have. The first is the family. The second is the church. The last is their own marriage. If they never get it there, they will never get it. And that's usually what leads to affairs. You see a woman that her husband has given everything physically, and the husband thinks she is all right because you have bought a car, you have done it. You don't know the need, her need. She's crying for attention. She's crying for this. She's crying for affirmation, and you are not giving it. And the boss is the one giving it. And one day, the affinity, the attraction between the kids deepening until one day they went for a call somewhere, and that's how vulnerable moments and affairs started. No matter who tells your wife that she's beautiful, she's pretty, is the one you tell her that matters the most. You see that lady, she's leaving for work. You just tell her, my, hey, who is this that I'm seeing? It's as if I fell in love fresh today. There is nothing any guy says anywhere. You see, that thing is not just administration, it's a protection. People don't understand these rules. That's why they have a problem. I asked Pastor Tyler, how are you able to deal with all this? He said, I know how to protect that woman. Before she leaves for any program, whether she's traveling to UK to go and preach, supply her with excessive protection is emotional protection. It doesn't matter the kind of temptation. Even if you bring $1 million check, even if you whatever, she would rather die than yield. But if she's in need, and I've kept her emotional bank dried of love, then I've created a vulnerability. The vulnerability did not start when she met temptation. The vulnerability started at home. I respect people who understand principles. This is the truth. For the man, I talk about falling into sexual affairs because it's usually men that fall more than women. Because men are moved by sight. A woman has to listen before you can get her. Women fall in love through their ears. Men fall in love through their eyes. I know some of you would deny that you didn't see anything, but that's a lie. Women fall in love through their ears. I want to say it again. It takes a period of talking to her, words, and she will go home. The words will be doing the magic inside over time to break the resistance. Finally, it gets to that point. Women, when they come to sex, may take time to get aroused. But when they get aroused, they stay longer. You see, here's some guys complaining. I don't understand though. The guy is through and the lady is still disturbing. That's why they say a woman can take 5 men, but a man can't take 5 women. Except some bingos and some, horses out there we don't know about. But I'm talking about the laws of creation, the ways the design was made. Forget some of those things they show you in movies or crazy or whatever, and you better know what some of those things for your good. If you haven't, and if you have, that means you have more work to do on your mind. But anyway, when I saw one of those crazy films, my first year in university and all those kind of things, forget films. Films is a world of make-believe, cut and join, whatever. He kept going, 20 different women. It's a lie. Sexually, a woman can experience the pleasure 3 times, 5 times. You finish, she's still. But when the thing is starting like a vehicle, it takes time to catch. But when she catches, she stays there for a while. It takes time to come down. A man, just seeing a naked woman, he has reached where he's going. With a little help, he has crossed over. You see differences. Now, you will see why frustration is there. Because a guy and his wife are in the room, and it probably is love making. And the gentleman, 5 minutes, is true. And the wife is just starting. He leaves her and goes. And the thing is building. Next time again, 3 minutes, is true. And by the time 5 minutes have passed, he's just through, he's leaving. The lady is just about to, he hangs her up. Now, they can take that for a while, but it keeps building. The thing is somewhere. A testy person, very testy. Because you are the one that walked up the test. Then you bring ice water, cool water, and you say, open your mouth, and it opens. Say, close your eyes, it closes. Then you remove the water. Another time, and this happens a whole year. The wife has not once experienced sexual satisfaction. The man is constantly having his way. You see, there is a vulnerability that is standing there that the enemy decides to work on. It might not be a day's job. That is what can lead to problems. On the part of ladies, you see some who use, the Bible talks about the weapons of our warfare. The only difference is that the Bible said they are not carnal. But she uses sex as one of the weapons of warfare for negotiating things or, whatever, dealing with a man when she's not happy. Don't touch me, just roll to the wall and the other. The man comes back from work, he's begging. You cannot touch me, or don't touch me. I'll go to the parlor. I don't know why you can't even control yourself. Control himself, his wife. This one temptation you are supposed to fall into is a good one. All the other one you are supposed to be running from it. This is the only one God said, fall. Eat this fruit. The other ones don't. He said no. And men, he gets to the office, he's looking at the secretary. There's this lady that likes him, and he said, no way, God forbid. I'm born again. I have my wife, and I love her. Comes back home. Where is the dress I said to buy? That's not the time to talk about dress. That's not the time to use. That is the time when you fulfill one of the needs that you marry the man to fulfill. That the obligation of marriage is the meeting of each other's need. Marriage has obligations. When you entered into that covenant relationship, the obligation is a commitment to meeting each other's needs. Not complaining about it, not being frustrated about it, not using the other person's need to attack him. The commitment is to meeting those needs. A particular man I know, he said the thing got to a point that the wife will go to the bedroom, take her bath, come out naked, and say, see it, but you cannot touch it. What is her problem? She so knows that he cannot marry another woman. There's nothing he can do. So we are here. I have to teach him some lessons. 1 year passed. The guy was now doing deliverance for one girl, and after the demon left, the girl, some people, when they are grateful for what you have done for them, over gratefulness. Oh man, you will buy him food, do this. It wasn't long, he started buying pants. When a lady starts buying pants for you, next thing, things have entered another level. The wife went to their marriage mentor. Can you imagine? Normally, when you come to me and you are talking, I first listen. The way you are even presenting the problem can tell me whether you are the problem. Immediately. Pastor is not sent there to keep people. He's sent there as a doctor to heal things. And his first equipment is the ability to actually diagnose what is the cause of this sickness. So if you think coming to, that's the truth. Coming to the doctor is to crucify her. A lot of work was done and that marriage was restored, but she wouldn't learn. The thing ended up in divorce. If the man was an Enoch, he could have stayed without a marriage. But the fact that he married means he needs a woman. Now, if he gets one and the one will not be a woman, then she has herself to blame. Life abhors vacuum. You don't feel the space God gave you. Something else will fill it. It's a law. You don't use such weapons. So let me mention there are 5 basic love languages. 5 basic languages of love. One is words of affirmation. Now, what we're trying to say in summary is that couples speak different languages. And the problem they have is there is no middleman to interpret who hears both languages. And God's strategy in creating male and female with differences is the man should learn the wife's languages and speak it to her, not speak your own. The woman should learn the husband's languages and speak it to him. There are 5 languages of love. You have to find out which dialect your husband speaks, emotionally speaking. The first is words of affirmation. The second is sharing quality time. The third is receiving of gifts. Okay? Receiving of gifts, the third. The fourth is acts of service. That's doing something to help the other person. For example, you came in, help the lady wash the dish, or the bulb burned. Your wife has been working at home. Saturday, you don't sit at home and look for something a man can do and do it. The fifth is physical touch, and then getting finally to sex. You have to sit down, and I will encourage that in the relationship you are building, you get to find out what language your spouse speaks. What do we mean by that? Out of these 5, one of them makes more impact on your partner. It might be 2, it might be 3 than others. It might not be the one. For example, there are certain people, their language of love is gifts. You buy them, hey, can you imagine my birthday? What he did? He bought me this ring, he bought me. The lady, that is, she's fresh in love again for the next 2 years, 3, or whatever. As another person, buy her anything. She likes the fact that you bought her, she appreciates it. That's not the one that scores the chord for her. You better study the person you are married, because differences is what God created. Another person, it is affirmation. She wants to hear 3 times a day, I love you, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. Some men too is affirmation. The way we affirm men, oh man, I'm very proud of you. You are my hero. Women, when you understand how to talk to your man, people will soon start wondering which charm you are using to control him. You see, do you know you are the best thing that has happened to me in this whole world, apart from Jesus Christ? Do you know that sometimes I try to control myself not to love you more than Christ? Each time I just see you, I melt. Men like praise. They like their ego serviced. Women like their emotion serviced. I love you, you're beautiful is likely to affect a woman more than a man. Oh my God. you're something else. I'm proud of you. It's likely to affect a man more. And the secret is, just like praise and worship, in praise and worship, it is a woman ministering to the husband. That's the way it is ordained. But you notice that if praise and worship is done well, you start hearing something from God, another form of affirmation. I am with you. I love you. You are the apple of my eyes. See the kind of raps God gives to the church. That's the kind of raps a man should be giving to the wife. You are everything. You are my liver, my pancreas, my kidney. If I have to come here 5 more times, I will still be married to you. Of course, in heaven, even though they say there is no marriage, I'm personally going to make a request to the Lord. Your mansion will be beside me, because I can't imagine you living closer to somebody else than me. At least when I wake up in the morning, I'll walk over and greet you.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe. God bless you. Until next time. Bye bye.